Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Adrienne Ross Show, where sports and culture connect. Forbes has announced the list of America's most powerful women in sports in 2025. And as you can see, Caitlin Clark has made the list. Congratulations to Caitlin and the other 24 people who received this distinction. Now, one of the things you've heard me say at least a few times when it comes to the WNBA's awards, Rookie of the Year, MVP, All Defensive Team, First Team, Second Team, those kinds of things, I want to know the criteria. We know that sports media vote for those awards, but sometimes, as you saw in a couple of videos I did this season, just a couple of weeks ago or less, I look at some of the numbers and I'm trying to figure out, well, why is this person on second team and not first team when the numbers look like they look, all those things. And then we had that situation, Caitlin Clark's rookie season, where somebody anonymously, because it's allowed, voted for someone else for Rookie of the Year when everybody knows that Caitlin Clark should have been the unanimous Rookie of the Year. I want to know who voted. That's number one. That's a different story. But I want to know the criteria. Well, Forbes gives us the criteria when deciding this prestigious list. So we're going to take a look at that. The links that I'm showing you will be in the description of this video. On this page, you're going to find the complete list of those chosen. And at the bottom of this page, and I'm going to take you there, you're going to find what Forbes calls the methodology, which really is the criteria for choosing the winners of this award. And here it is. To determine the most powerful women in sports, Forbes began with some critical questions. Who are the owners using their wealth to drive business opportunities and investments into their team or sport? Who are the athletes with the biggest platforms reaching the most fans and commanding attention that is driving consumer interest? Who are the executives, coaches, and amplifiers fueling this ecosystem's growth by boosting attendance or merchandise sales and forging big money media rights deals? We then divided each sector's power players into 5 categories: owners/investors, business executives, front office leaders, athletes, and amplifiers, and examined Forbes' proprietary team valuations, company and sport revenue figures, media mentions, and social media follower and engagement data from sports marketing firm Two Circles, plus recent news and momentum. We also sought to include representation across all sports. So the final list contains 5 people per category and no more than 2 people from the same league in any category. A weighted formula that puts a premium on financial control and influence helped determine the final ranking. So here you have it. No guesswork. They're looking at influence. They're looking at driving wealth. They're looking at social media following and engagement. They're looking at a whole lot of stuff. And here it is. It's all there. And like they said, 5 categories of whom they call power players, from owners to athletes to stuff in between. Before we even talk about Caitlin Clark, I have to say this. As I scroll right on back up here, I got to say, even without knowing the criteria, which again, I like to know. So I'm glad I get to know. But even without knowing that criteria, when I see something that says most powerful women in sports, I know that there is not a planet, not one, where you can be talking about powerful women in sports, or honestly, powerful people in sports, whether a man or whether a woman. There's no way Caitlin Clark is not on that list, regardless of what the criteria happens to be, because Caitlin Clark is synonymous with sports. But not only that, she's also synonymous with some of the other things they're talking about driving revenue, about influence, about money, about generating money, of course, as I just said, driving revenue. And also when you talk about the engagement, the social media following, the engagements, all that. And with Caitlyn, it's not just social media following, it's following wherever she goes. And we'll get to talk about that in a minute. But let's take a look at some of the other people who made this list of 25, where Caitlyn Clark is on the list and why I think it's a huge thing where she lands, even that she lands. But of course, she's on this list, as I said. So here we are, the most powerful women in sports 2025. Who controls the capital now? So we are going to take a look at this list. I'm not going to park at every name in this 25-person list, but I really want to highlight Caitlyn Clark, where she is on the list, that she's on the list. And I'll get to that in a moment. Of course, she's on the list. I got to say some things about that. So let's take a look at some of these individuals. Well, we're going to start with Gail Benson, owner of the New Orleans Saints and New Orleans Pelicans. We've got some of these people, I have no idea who they are, and maybe you do, but they made the list. Amy Howe, a CEO of FanDuel, which I'm not a fan at all of sports betting, but it's a big business, and she's the CEO. And you've got a brand president of Nike and Amy, is it Montaigne? And here we have Caitlyn Clark, number 4. And I'm just going to read what it says. She's on here as an athlete, guard, Indiana Fever. Caitlyn has turned her record-breaking college basketball career into early dominance in the WNBA. Her estimated $8.1 million in income from her rookie season with the Indiana Fever was bolstered by big deals with Nike, Wilson, and Gatorade, and signals a shift in how female athletes are being valued in the world of professional sports. Last month, the Fever announced that Clark would be sidelined with an injury for the remainder of the WNBA season to focus on her recovery. But the injury doesn't change the fact that Clark has, in the last 2 years, been the spark that lit the match that set women's sports on fire. I'm going to come back to her. I'm going to scroll down, show you a few more people, and we got to come back to Caitlyn Clark because that's why I'm here. No, we just keep going, and we find founder and CEO. We find executive vice president, front office in the NFL. We get commissioner of the National Women's Soccer League. And we know that Caitlyn is also very much interested in soccer, in a team, in the league there. We've got, again, executive vice president. I mean, there's so many people involved in business. And here at number 9, you have Nafisa Collier and Breanna Stewart, and Unrivaled. And I will say what I said before Unrivaled, during Unrivaled, after Unrivaled. And that's that even no matter what you think of Unrivaled, for 2 people to have a vision and then take the steps to see it come to pass is admirable. Hey, you give it everything you got. They went out there, they got it done. It tells you right here on the court, Nafisa Collier and Breanna Stewart are among the best in the game. Collier was the runner-up in voting for the WNBA's 2025 MVP award, and Stewart won the award in 2018 and 2023. Through Unrivaled, they're changing the game altogether. Founded by the former UConn teammates in 2023, Unrivaled is a 3-on-3 league. We already know that, what that is. The league's first season ran from January through March this year and attracted 11.9 million total viewers with ticket sales that surpassed 7 figures. It says this fall, Unrivaled raises a Series B funding round that gave the upstart league a $340 million valuation. And it says, full disclosure, Forbes EVP, is it Maura Forbes, invested in an early fundraising round for Unrivaled. So once again, for them to say, we want to do this and to go do it, is admirable. Now I got some thoughts about them being at the negotiating table for the WNBA CBA, but that's a different story. So congratulations to them as well. And it continues. So many people on this list. I got to stop at Serena Williams. I was a huge Serena Williams fan as a player, but she's more than her playing days. Her playing days are over, and she's still doing her thing. Founder of Serena Ventures, and continuing to go, not trying to be disrespectful to anyone. I'm just, some of these people I don't know, and I don't have time to go over everyone, but the link will be in the description. Of course, Coco Gauff, the tennis player, we know her. And continuing on, A'ja Wilson, number 15. Remember, Caitlin Clark was 4, Serena Williams 11, A'ja Wilson 15. And of course, we know that she's accomplished a lot on the basketball court. And she's also an author of a bestseller in 2024. We've got ESPN Executive Vice President. Going to keep scrolling down here. And most of us know Simone Biles. She's number 18. And just continuing on, like I said, there's 25. You got number 20, Dawn Staley, and you cannot discount what she has done there in South Carolina in 18 seasons. And continuing on, let's see, Becky Hammon, of course, A'ja Wilson's coach, as an amplifier. I mean, she won championships her first 2 seasons with the Aces, and then she didn't win a championship in 24, but then won again in 25. So 3 championships in 4 years. Yeah, shout out to her. Number 22 on that list. And of course, you've got the Billie Jean King, Mrs. Tennis, or Miss Tennis, if you will, and also founder of Women's Sports Foundation. Val Ackerman, commissioner of the Big East Conference. I had no idea that she was a part of the NCAA. I only remember Val Ackerman because she was the first president of the WNBA back in the early days before they called them commissioners in the WNBA. She was the president. And then number 25 would be Caitlin's agent, and she is Vice President Eric. I want to say Erica Kane. Anybody used to watch All My Children back in the day? Anyway, Erin Kane, Vice President Excel Sports Management, and she represents some of the biggest stars, Caitlin Clark, and helped secure the Nike deal, which, as much as that's being applauded here, many people feel like she could have gotten a better deal. But Nafisa Collier, Arike Gumwale, softball's Jenny Finch, she represents them. And there's the methodology again. So let's go back to Caitlin Clark. One of the things that really grabbed people when Nafisa Collier alleged that Commissioner Kathy Engelbert said that Caitlin should be very thankful, however she supposedly phrased it, about the WNBA, because if it were not for the WNBA, Caitlin would not have the opportunity to make the money she makes, etc. A lot of people were like, are you kidding me? Because we already knew that Caitlin Clark was making tons of money before she even entered the WNBA. And so here this says 8.1 million in income from her rookie season. And that certainly didn't come from the WNBA, but she's got all kinds of deals. And I imagine, I don't know, but I imagine she probably gets an opportunity to make even more money and represent more brands, and probably says no to some of those things. So I just think, again, that you cannot have this kind of award when you're talking about powerful women in sports or powerful people in sports and not have Caitlin Clark on it. But the thing about Caitlin is that she has not really had a second season. She played 13 games, and we know she was not herself. And yet she continues to draw attention no matter where she goes. She shows up with her team during a season where she was not able to play. What did she do? She came early, whether home, whether away. She's signing autographs. People are still showing up at games knowing she's not playing, but she has that kind of power, that kind of draw, that even if she's not suited up in this uniform you see right here, people want to be in the room. People want to be watching on television. It's kind of odd and rare, I would say, that people, and they've admitted it, have tuned in for some not to watch the Indiana Fever, although I have, and many of you have, truly supported this entire team and love this entire team. But some people who are strictly Caitlin Clark fans, they'll tell you, I'm watching the game to get a glimpse at Caitlin Clark on the sideline. I want to see what she's saying, what she's doing on the bench. I want to see how she's in the huddle. I'm watching because Caitlin Clark is a part of the Indiana Fever. That is some kind of power, some kind of draw. And no matter what the naysayers out there saying, because you're hearing them, oh, she's washed up. Oh, they're better without her. Oh, it's a wrap. Oh, it's over. I mean, I'm seeing all kinds of stuff still because she lives rent free in the brain. But even though they're saying all that, and even though she couldn't play, but only 13 games in her second season, people still love Caitlin Clark, want to watch Caitlin Clark, can't wait till Caitlin Clark plays again, are thinking, y'all better get this CBA thing together so we can watch Caitlin Clark before 2027. When is she going to be able to play 5-on-5? Where is she going to play? Is she going to go overseas? How do I watch if she does? Oh, she's playing golf? Okay, well, I don't know what time golf is teeing off, but I hope y'all are televising it this year, and we got to get up early. We'll get up early. If we got to stay up late, we'll stay up late. This is what people are saying. This is power, and she's 23 years old. At 23 years old, a player who did not play hardly at all her second season is number 4 on the list, ahead of Serena Williams with 23 Grand Slams, ahead of Simone Biles, ahead of Asia Wilson, whom we're told is the face of the league, ahead of Nafisa Collier and Breanna Stewart. And again, this isn't a competition between Caitlin Clark and these other people. I'm simply saying what she has managed to do and how she has managed to captivate is incredible. And I didn't even mention the logo threes and the pinpoint passes, which, though we only got to see her in 13 games, we got to see some of that too. Anybody remember the New York Liberty game? Oh my goodness. Even Breanna Stewart was like, and they had that fun moment there.
Clearing out that side of the floor, shooting on Stewie, and then watch the reaction with one another. Stewie's laughing. Caitlin knows it's ridiculous.
When you think about talent plus the revenue she draws, the people she draws, the interest she's able to maintain even when she's not on the court playing. And add to that the unfortunate with a capital UN, the unfortunate people who follow her to produce content, to trash her coach, to trash her teammates, all those things. That faction exists as well. It comes with the territory. So you take a look at the whole list, and maybe you know all 25 of them. Maybe you know 5 of them. I don't know, but I have a feeling if you're listening to me, you know Caitlin Clark. Even if you're not regularly following the Adrienne Ross Show, you know Caitlin Clark. She absolutely deserves to be on this list. Number 4, just after her second year in which she hardly played, and people will watch her even when she plays golf or even when she's sitting on the bench and cheering for her teammates. It is phenomenal. And she's 23 years old. Congratulations to these women. And of course, congratulations to Caitlin Clark. What an accomplishment. And we ain't seen nothing yet. I'll catch you next time, God willing. God bless you abundantly.